Here we go. Tariffs on China set to rise at least 104% on Wednesday, White House says. President Trump is set to impose an astounding 104% in levies across Chinese imports on Wednesday. White House press secretary, this is breaking news, Caroline the Dummy, announced on Tuesday. This comes on top of Chinese tariffs that were in place prior to Trump's second term. China already set to see tariffs increase by 34% on Wednesday as a part of Trump's tariffs package, but the president tacked on another 50% after Beijing didn't back off his promise to impose 34% retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods by noon Tuesday, adding an additional 84% in duties. China has told us they will go to war with us. Let me tell you something. The war with China, we are going to, well, a physical war, we going to win. But this tariff war, we are about to lose. 80% of the stuff, that shit's about to be so expensive. The regular American is not going to be able to afford anything, man. Early on Tuesday, China's Commerce Ministry said it firmly opposes the additional 50% tariffs to the Chinese imports, calling it a mistake upon mistake. The ministry vowed to escalate its retaliation on U.S. exports. U.S. stocks, in which soared Tuesday morning, I told you we had a little bump, began moving lower off of her comments. The NASDAQ S&P dipped into a negative territory while the Dow remained positive around 2:30 p.m. I wish we had Kamala Harris's laugh right now. I wish Kamala Harris was laughing right now. Yeah. Well, guess what? It ain't going to be no more smiling. Come Wednesday morning, when your ass is paying top dollar, it ain't going to be no more laughing. It's about to be all heartbreak. Yeah, no more laughs. No. That's 104%. Something costs $100, $200 on your ass. Oh, plus that extra 4%. It's $100. It's $208 on your bitch ass. You know what I'm saying? Not calling y'all no bitch ass. I'm just saying in general. But yeah, it ain't gonna be no laughing on Wednesday. When the clock strikes midnight, doom, that means that pocket is about to start burning. It ain't gonna be no more laughing. It ain't no more laughing. Straight business. China is straight killers, yo. And guess what? It ain't hurting nobody but the Americans. You putting tariffs on the Chinese. Guess what? The Chinese ain't paying it. The same American companies that you want to manufacture stuff here in America that are going to be buying shit is 104%. When you go to Best Buy, 104%. When you go to the store, 104%. China is living in luxury, but you don't have the freedoms that you have in America. Let me tell you that. And not everybody. There's so many people in China, 99% of them are not living in luxury. A lot of them are just regular ass workers. You know what I mean? Working in these Apple factories. Yeah, man, they ain't really living like that. There's a lot of money over there, but that's because it's ran by the government. That means the government got full control. They got all propaganda over there. If I was in China, I wouldn't be able to get on here and talk trash. If I lived in China, I couldn't say that Xi Jinping is an idiot. But since I'm an American and I got rights and freedoms, I can say Donald Trump is a complete and utter idiot, fool, dummy. Not a business person, because I got rights. You can't do that in China. So I mean, yeah, it's got its benefits, but overall living conditions, no. All right, so here we go. Countries like China, who have chosen to retaliate and try to double down on their mistreatment of American workers, are making a mistake. Levitt told reporters on Tuesday, President Trump has a spine of steel and he will not break. Where's the mistreatment of American workers? How is there a mistreatment of American workers? You need to talk to the CEOs of these American companies that sent their companies over there. China ain't got nothing to do with that. All China's doing is seeing that there's a market and they're filling it. Am I siding with China? No. I'm just telling you basic economics. China seen a void in what America needed. So they fill in that void. That's business. You got to have a target audience. They know Americans like cheap goods. Americans don't want to spend top dollars. That's why we're fine with these companies going over there. I'm fine with my shirt coming from Pakistan. I'm fine with my shirt coming from Bangladesh. I'm fine with my shirt coming from China because I'm not paying fucking Gucci prices. I'm paying $10, $15 for a t-shirt. I don't want to pay $100 for a t-shirt made in America just so the tag can say made in USA. I want my shit to say made somewhere else because my dollar is made in America and I want my dollar to go somewhere. It just doesn't make sense. They just aren't making sense. The Chinese want to make a deal. They just don't know how to do it, she added. She declined to share what, if any, terms Trump would consider to lower tariffs in China. Trump initially imposed a 10% tariff on all Chinese goods in February with no exceptions, tying it to the country's alleged role in aiding illegal immigration and getting fentanyl into the United States last month. He doubled those rates. Does he not know if they're imposing tariffs, right? They're assuming that fentanyl is getting sent to America in different packages, in different shipping containers, right? So they're imposing tariffs. What they're doing is taxing the Americans for the fentanyl that's coming over. If it's getting sent here and it's getting taxed, whatever it comes through, that 104% this stupid motherfucker put on here, we are paying 104% for any fentanyl that they think is coming over here. We're paying taxes on the fentanyl. China doesn't care because they're not paying it. This isn't going to slow down any shipments of fentanyl. Someone in the States has to order that shit to get it sent here. China is not paying the tariffs. We're paying for the drugs to get over here in the tariffs. This is stupid. This is dumb. We put 104. Now we just paying this outrageous tax. And if there is fentanyl in there, guess what? We paid the taxes on that shit. So now the drug is getting, if the drug costs $10 on the street, we done paid the $10 at the tariff. So now that's $10 that the government gets for the drug to come in the country, for the drug to be sold for $20 now because it had to go up to make up for these. It's stupid. Yeah, of course, there's no way to account for the fentanyl, so I'm over exaggerating the price. The price will probably stay the same, but I'm saying we're paying a tax on this phantom drug that's coming over, and he's thinking that us paying extra money is gonna. He thinks we're Trump supporters. We're not fucking stupid. We know how this shit works, man. We know what the hell is going on. It's just dumb. They're stealing money from us. How are they stealing money from us? They're not stealing money from us. When we send shit over there, they pay the taxes. So the tariffs that they put on us, they're paying for it, not us. What the fuck, man? All right. China was America's second largest source of imports last year, shipping a total of $439 billion worth of goods to the U.S., while the U.S. exported $144 billion worth of goods to China. The mutual tariffs threaten to hurt domestic industries and are poised to result in layoffs. These tariffs are about to shut down everything that we have in America. Because if you put 104% on there, these companies can't afford to pay the 3,000 employees that they got while paying more for everything that they're bringing in to build stuff. And he thinks that they're just going to magically make factories and start building everything here in America, which is going to be so damn expensive because now you got to pay all of these employees not minimum wage. If they work in these factories, they're going to get unions. These people are going to have to. We just seen what went down with the shipping yards. Every year they're getting a $3 raise for the next 3 years, up to $72. That's shipping. That's American shipping. Now, if we start building these factories here, we already got the CHIPS Act. And this idiot talking about he wanted to get rid of the CHIPS Act. The CHIP Act will make the damn chips here in America so we don't have to worry about Taiwan and China invading. But this dummy wanted to try to get rid of the CHIP Act where they already got a gigafactory down in Arizona and they working on 2 more to have 3 total. But he wanted to shut it down. But he's talking about he wants shit to be made in America. America don't make semiconductor chips. Taiwan does, and we buy from them. And guess what Biden said? We'll make a deal with you. You come over here, build your factories, so we don't have to import them. We'll just have them built here, which will create over 10 million. Well, not 10 million. It'll create over what was it? It'll create over a million jobs in Arizona on top of the 16 million jobs that were created since 2021, and over the only president to ever have more jobs created every month. It's just stupid. It's just dumb, man. It just, I don't know, man. I don't know, guys. I'm trying to. Dozens of other countries, as well as the European Union, also face midnight deadline for new tariff rates. Those rates, which Trump laid out last week, range from 11 to 50%. Levitt told reporters that despite several conversations with world leaders aiming to negotiate lower tariff rates, Trump has little appetite to delay his plans. Having spoken to Trump earlier on Tuesday, Levitt, I call her Leave It because she just leaves everything out there. She's an idiot too. He expects that these tariffs are going into effect. At the same time, she said Trump instructed his trade team to make tailor-made deals with countries that want to negotiate. Pressed further on whether the president had any timeline or deadline for the trade deals, Leave It at home again reiterated that they won't be off the rack deals. Well, at least we ain't got a laughing president. We got a strong. Ain't that what you said, Mozzie? At least we ain't got a laughing president. We'll see. We'll see how this hits tomorrow. But look at this though. Now, remember, we all had predictions. So Elon Musk, he's going against Donald Trump and Peter Navarro. Now, remember, all of these tariffs that are in place, guess what? Tesla's built here in America. But where does Tesla's parts come from? Oh, that's right. China, Mexico, Canada. Do you know the biggest cobalt mountains are up in Canada? Guess what Tesla needs? Oh, that's right. Batteries. They got to get from Canada. Elon Musk doesn't want any tariffs with Europe because he's trying to get his cars over there. But guess what? While we got this little glow going on, China is sending their EVs to Denmark. China is sending their EVs to Sweden. They're taking up the whole market share. Guess what? GM, Ford, Chrysler, they're just going to be stuck in America. And with all these tariffs going on, Americans ain't going to be able to afford it. And let me tell you something. Over here in Europe, People ain't buying that American bullshit. We get Benzes, Beamers, Ferrari, Porsche, Audi. They got all the luxury shit over here. Ain't no one buying no fucking American-made cars over here. The only loser is America, man. And here we go. Truly a moron. Elon Musk escalates spat with Trump advisor Peter Navarro over tariffs. If you don't remember, Peter Navarro actually went to jail, had to sit down, perjury, contempt in court. So this is just we have a bunch of criminals in the office. What does Trump do? We got a bunch in the office, a bunch of criminals that we've never seen before running the United States of America. I think there's a video. Elon Musk took another jab at President Donald Trump. Senior trade advisor Peter Navarro calling him a moron on social media as Tesla CEO further splits from the White House tariffs plan. Musk's remarks were in response to a CNBC interview with Navarro that aired on Monday, during which the White House trade advisor discussed how Tesla's position as a car assembler rather than a car manufacturer could be at odds with the Trump tariffs. So what he's saying is he's not making the vehicles here. He's just importing all of the different parts and just putting it together. You know, he's not a manufacturer. He's just a assembler. So that's why Elon's saying, I want free trade with Europe. He don't want these 104% tariffs on Tesla. Tesla's already going down. So now you put that on there. These Teslas, ain't no one buying them already. They boycotting Tesla. They turning their Teslas in. And now it's about to cost double to make. Oh, man, yeah. Oh, man, yeah. In many cases, if you go to his Texas plant, a good part of his engines that he gets, which in the EV case are batteries, come from Japan and come from China. The electronics come from Taiwan, Navarro said. And that's what I just told y'all about the TSMC, bringing it over to Arizona, the CHIP Act. The difference is in our thinking and Elon's on this is that we want the tires made in Akron, he continued. We want the transmissions made in Indianapolis. We want the engines made in Flint. And we want cars manufactured here. Musk said Navarro is truly a moron, replying to a video in the comments being shared on social media. What he says here is demonstrably false. He wrote before calling Navarro Peter Retardo. Hey, that was a good one. I give you that one, Elon, Peter Retardo. Now, we're not making fun of nobody. We're not using that word. We're just reading what it says here in another comment. Musk claimed Tesla has the most American-made cars. In another series of expos, adding that Navarro is dumber than a sack of bricks. By any definition whatsoever, Tesla is most vertically integrated auto manufacturer in America with the highest percentage of U.S. content. Navarro should, as the fake expert he invented, Ron Vera, he added. Now, this guy right here, Ron Vera, this is a fake person. Peter Navarro had a book and he made up a fake expert that was basically agreeing with whatever he put in the book. Like, yeah, Ron Vera, a prestigious expert in this and this and economics, he agrees with me. But it turns out this dude isn't even real. It's a made-up character he put in a book. It's all kinds of dumb shit. But hey, this is America, man. Kamala ain't laughing. I like that, Mozzie. I'm using that one. But at least Kamala ain't laughing. At least Kamala ain't laughing. You know what I mean? This is some serious shit. We can't afford to have Kamala laughing anyway. Here you go, Elon talking about the tariffs. His goofy ass.
I'm hoping.
When it comes to his business and his money, oh, people are so mean. But when that fucker was on the stage with the chainsaw trying to cut all these jobs and Doggy ain't even goddamn saved no money, now he on here, we don't need to do no tariffs. Now, fuck you. Fuck them Teslas. Bring my goddamn cost up. You know what I'm saying? Because taking a hit is like a bullet to the heart. But let's hear what Elon got to say, and then we'll end this.
I'm hopeful, for example, with the tariffs, that at the end of the day, I hope it is agreed that both Europe and the United States should move, ideally, in my view, to a zero tariff situation, effectively creating a free trade zone between Europe and North America. And that would be that's what I hope occurs.
Now they want free trade. You hear what he said? Free trade with North America. He including Canada because he get parts from up there. I told you about the cobalt mines. He need them batteries. In Canada, you can get it for a lower price. We got like 6 mines here in the United States, but they aren't as big as they are over in Canada, and you get them for cheaper up there because it's a surplus up there. But he mentioned the whole North America. But remember when he first got in here and he was this random advisor, they were talking about removing themselves from NATO, going in on the EU, but he's starting to realize that we have these allies for a reason. You got to have trade. Global trade is how the world started off. The only reason they discovered America is because they wanted cheaper trade. Christopher Columbus was trying to find a shorter route to India to get the spices. So it'd be a direct route instead of having to go through all the channels, go around Africa. He thought it was quicker. He ended up stumbling on the Caribbean. But that's why they started to go to India, because everywhere trade is important. Global trade is what we need. Some countries do have smaller tariffs, and there's going to be tariffs. It's just the way it is. We got to tax a little bit to try to, but they're not putting 104% on it. You got 34%, but it's not 34% on everything that the U.S. exports to China. It's just on specific things so they can start to try to build up their stuff. But that's like any country. We want to try to have our own economic freedom. So we put tariffs on certain things. So it's like, okay, we can get a little head start on that. But you're not putting a double on everything. Like, it's just dumb, man. It's just dumb. But hey, Tesla, right? Tesla, man. Oh man. But yeah, don't get it confused. Elon, he's an all right guy, but he ain't the smart genius that everybody makes it seem. He ain't invented shit. He did PayPal, sold PayPal. He didn't invent Tesla. He was an investor and then he bought them out. So yeah, and that's it right there, man. But that's what's going on. So tariffs will be going on 1 o'clock. Matter of fact, let me try to order me something. Well, I ain't ordering from there anyway. Yeah, well, there we go. We got a couple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 7 articles in tonight. So yeah, we good, man. We good. I'm gonna do a Tubi movie probably at 10. So I gotta get a